So, how do you talk about delegation to a person who doesn't ask for help in general? Right? There's a real problem underneath every you should delegate more conversation, especially when it comes to women. Like, we want to build a team that doesn't need us for everything. But for a lot of women leaders, the issue is productivity tips that they haven't. It's not that you haven't heard everything yet. It's a relationship with asking, with control, with being able to let go in the first place and feeling safe receiving. Most of us are givers. We're not comfortable receiving. Maybe because we've received something that we didn't want. Like, oh, thank you so much for this regift. Wow. It's so thoughtful. Or we were the one on, growing up in grade school on the team project that did everything, and everyone's like, "Yeah, look at
Well,
me." But
isn't
tell
isn't that what got us where we are, Victoria? By doing all the things, by being amazing at every single aspect and, carrying the team through, even when no one else was doing anything, ensuring that you had that ethic that like if it was going to get done right, we were going to do it. And if the deadline was coming and other people hadn't pulled their weight, then we were going to make sure it happened, and not just happened, but happened with excellence.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what got
If
us
it
here.
is to be, like, this is what's got us here. If it is to be, it's up to me. Push through, right? Make it happen. Over deliver, right? Work twice as hard as everyone else in the room and make sure it's done to perfection.
Mm.
The other side of that, as they say in Chinese medicine, the bigger the front, the bigger the back. The other side of make sure it's done to perfection is me. I have to do it. Like, it has to be done to my taste,
Mhm.
my level of feeling safe, my version of what it should be done. And this episode of the Wake Up Women Leaders podcast 18 is not about you having things not done your way, but we need to talk about what's behind why you're not building up your team. What's behind why you're not delegating, or when you hear the word delegation, all of a sudden you just glaze over, right, Nettie?
100%. I I I think we start shitting on ourselves. Not even glazing over, but just that reaction of, oh, I should delegate. I know what I should have a team, but I don't know what to give them. I don't know how to ask. I don't know how to receive. I don't know who to ask. I don't know what skills they need. And then I need systems. And it becomes this super overwhelming and complex thing. And today we are going to talk about really the core problem that you need to address. And when you do, this whole delegation issue will become much easier to work with, but also you'll solve the problem of having a team that doesn't need you for everything. You can free yourself up to do the work that only you can do.
Yeah, yeah. And believe it or not, this gets easier and easier with time. Um,
And
the
practice.
Yeah, yeah. The work gets pleasurable. Working with other people can actually be really lovely once you kind of pass through this ring of fire initially. And so let's get it. By the way, Nettie, who are you and what makes you qualified to talk about delegating?
Oh my goodness. Well, having been in business now for since 2004, with teams that have been large and small over the years, I've had a lot of experience learning how to ask for and receive what I want that will grow my business. I'm an executive coach, And I work with people, specifically women in leadership, to help them identify their goals and then actualize those goals. I do this through one on one coaching as well as group programs and accountability and workshops where we create your strategy and then help you make it happen. So, if you'd like to check out more, you can see me on LinkedIn and at saparagroup.com. How about you, Victoria?
Yay. Let's see. Well, what qualifies me is not only have I built teams for myself, working for myself, but also I've been on teams and built teams for others. So I've seen it from both sides of being the leader, receiving the support, and having to open up and ask on another level to learn to improve my communication skills so that I better convey what's the spirit of the task as well as what each team lead's responsibilities are, as well as on the receiving end. I've seen what it's like to be an assistant, an executive assistant, team leader, and to be with a leader who's struggling to convey and to build them up and support them in the process. Similarly to yourself, I've had one virtual assistant and I've had 15. I've had virtual assistants and I've had in person personal assistants. So it runs the gamut. And for me, what I do currently now is I'm a Reiki master teacher turned business coach and energy healer. So I help impact driven leaders to get and stay grounded and clear in their mind, their body, and their business, specifically by teaching them strategic meditation practices that help them better improve their planning and organization. That's why Nettie and I mesh well together so much, right? I'm the mindset and energy, and she's the structure and systems, right? Together, we get all the most amazingest things. If you want to, if you want to find me, you can check me out at strategicmeditation.com. Meditation does not have a C in it. Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh,
Well, dig into this. Let's dig into this idea. You started out by asking, how do you talk about delegation to a person who doesn't ask for help in general? And if you're listening to us here, watching us, you may be thinking, that's me. Like, I'm the giver. I don't receive. I'm the one giving all of the help in all levels, both in your personal life, at work. You may even consider yourself a servant leader and hold that title with honor and distinction because you take care of others. But that that flipping that around and you hear somebody say you need to delegate more, you may not know exactly how to approach that, mainly because you've never been the receiver or allowed yourself to be the receiver. Victoria, has there been a time in your life where this was true for you?
yeah. So for me, growing up, how to control an exciting and a passionate environment to grow up in was to be the giver. And so that really got ingrained in my personality. And so what shifted things for me um, was when we were with our mentor and she had us do a tolerations exercise. And she said, write out a list of all the things that you're tolerating in your business. And I was a baby business owner at the time. But whew, you want me to talk about the things that annoy me? Let it rip. And I had a gigantic list of things, which was so helpful. And then she would come in and say, ta-da, that's the things to delegate. I'm, oh my God. That was not the aha moment. The aha moment for me, because that list freaked me out of like, oh God, I have so many things that I have to give to people. I don't know if I can afford this. And I'm not used to working with other people. I'm better on my own. I'm more of a lone wolf. You know,
Mhm.
I'm the best number two in any organization I've ever been a part of. But when it's mine, I'm number one. Or at least that's what used to be my mindset. But what shifted for me was bringing into my awareness the identity aspect. Okay, like you were saying, I'm the giver, I'm the doer. Giver, doer as an identity was a full on self generated block from
Mhm.
receiving. I give, I do. No, you don't. And by the way, as above, so below, as in business, so in personal, right? Business relations, so in personal. If you're going to block there, you're going to block there too. And what I learned about shifting the identity, just flipping it from I'm the giver to I'm the receiver, right? I'm the doer to I'm the visioner, right? So I generate the vision, the idea of what needs to be done.
Mhm.
What I noticed is that I was giving something different. And that really helped me as someone who struggles to ask for help. Is that instead of giving the problem being solved by me, I was giving a problem solver or someone who wants to be a problem solver, I was giving them the opportunity to enjoy the pleasure of solving a problem for me. And as a giver, I understand how good that feels. Of like, oh, I'm going to rock this. Oh, for so and so. I'm going to do such a great job for so and so. I'm going to make their life so much easier. I'm going to be intuitive and intelligent and thoughtful and da 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 da. As someone who is a doer or an integrator, to use a rocket fuel term,
Mhm.
Gino Wickman, that book, as an to as someone who's like a natural integrator, when I step back and just enjoy for them, I have a sense of compersion, right? As opposed to compassion. I don't want to have compassion for them. I want to have compersion. Compersion, if anyone doesn't know what that word is, that is the emotion of genuinely feeling like the other person's win is yours. Like, yay for you, yay for us, yay, you feel good, yay. As opposed to you won. Oh, that's nice. Like feeling like I'm outside of their win. So when I have compersion for the person who's doing a thing for me, I get to enjoy giving them that opportunity rather than giving me taking the
Mhm.
opportunity. And this really solidified when I was at a live event and for ClickFunnels, which is, bro marketing. All my bros, I love my ClickFunnels guys. And I was dressed pretty much like me. Flowy dress, rainbow everything, high heels and things, and I had two heavy bags. And I'm walking, and I like carrying heavy things, but I'm walking in heels and a flowy dress and glittering everything looking like me. And a gentleman like comes up to me. I can't say walk exactly. Comes up to me and says, "May I carry your bag?" And I learned to say yes. What you don't know is that this man had a full leg cast and was on crutches. And he said, "Oh my God, thank you. Oh, finally." And he picks my bags up while he's on his crutches with the full leg cast and crutches next to me as we go to a breakout session. And I'm like, I should be thanking you. Like, this is so generous of you to offer to carry my bags. My goodness. And he's like, no, I've been asking people all day if I could carry their bags for them. And I saw you, you looked like an open-hearted person, and I'm just so grateful. I miss lifting weights. I feel so weak. I am a lifter. Like my identity is a lifter. And it's so frustrating for me to be on these crutches for like 6 weeks. Like I popped my knee doing a slip and slide with my niece and nephew, which is the stupidest thing. And he's like, I'm so frustrated. I just want to be able to work out and lift something heavy. And finally, I get to do that. Oh my gosh. Yay. So I gave him, like, this is a very simple in-person application of this. I gave him the opportunity to really express serving others as someone who loves serving others, as an integrator and an like someone who loves to execute well at heart. What I'm giving instead of the execution is I'm giving the opportunity to give that to me. And I'm enjoying their pleasure in doing that, if that makes sense. I'm glad you asked this question, Nettie. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. And I have two examples that I want to share. And actually, one of them also happened at ClickFunnels
Oh,
with you. But I'm hoping that what our listeners are picking up on is that, yes, you get the task. The task is delegation. But if you don't get the mindset and the identity of somebody who can delegate, who can receive, who can share in the joy and pleasure of others, on your behalf, then that's the missing element. So you and I were at ClickFunnels. It was the first time that we went, and we had taken an excursion to go to the grocery store to kind of fill our fridges back at the hotel. And I was carrying everything, and somebody asked. I think it was even raining. I think it was like torrentially raining. I have a feeling it was pretty nasty out. And someone asked to carry my bags, and you just stepped in because you heard me about to say no, I've got it, and you're like, no, yes, yes, she will receive you carrying her bags into, putting them into the car, and then you just gratefully appreciated that person. I think this was actually before the crutches incident that you just described. But then I think you even talked to me about it, like allow people to help you, which was just a really powerful moment and one that I've remembered. But my second story is a spiritual one. And this one came to me, obviously, I needed to continue to remember it, but um, I believe I was in college at this point, and I was sitting in church, and the minister was giving a sermon about it's just as important to be a good gift receiver as it is to be a good gift giver. Just as important to receive as it is to give. And the reason that this sermon was being shared is because God gives us so much, and we have to be open to receive the gifts that are being given. And when we reject other people helping us, other people doing work for us, other people shining their light, then we are basically rejecting the gifts that God is giving us. And that was chilling. Like I wrote it down. I can remember I wrote it down on my bulletin that day. I saved that bulletin to remember that. So much so that fast forward many years, I was hosting an event, and one of the members in the mastermind was talking about, was maybe even talking about delegation. She was talking about things not coming to her the way that she wanted them to. And we identified in that moment that she was having a problem with receiving. And so she sat in a chair in the center of our mastermind. You were there, probably remember, in the center of our mastermind. And literally everyone got up and gave her something, and she had to keep it. She could not reject it. She had to gratefully accept it. Um, many of us were in tears during this particular exercise because it was so powerful to witness someone who had not practiced receiving And so we gave her this opportunity to practice receiving like 20, 25 times. So everybody, someone gave her a tissue, someone gave her a mug, and they told her, I'm giving this to you. I want you to have it. This is yours. You're so worthy of this item that I'm handing to you. And she had to simply say thank you and accept that gift. So, this practice of receiving, it's not just practical. It's not just a business thing. It's not just a logistics thing, but you will not figure out delegation until you can figure out how to receive. That is your number one. But the other part of this, once we get beyond the, hey, you need to practice receiving, and you can do it anywhere, like in the grocery store, or when someone's walking down the hall and sees you carrying a lot and offers to help, or somebody opens the door, instead of that knee-jerk reaction of, no, thank you, I've got this, you simply say, yes, thank you. And the more you say, yes, thank you, can you imagine your mind starts to be trained to receive and appreciate receiving? But once you get through this particular element, there's another piece of this that is just so, so important. When you start asking for help, it's another part that can be very difficult. It's one thing to practice saying, yes, thank you. But now we have to actually actively seek out help from others. And that's what we're doing when we have a team. You might have a team. I've seen this happen so many times. Leaders who have teams and they still haven't figured this out, how to ask for what they need. So that might be you. Don't worry. You are in good company. You are not alone in this particular experience. But if that is you, then the other piece of this is learning to ask for what you need in a way that allows that other person to help you. And Victoria, as you were just coming to this mindset of allowing yourself to feel joy around other people succeeding with the tasks that you gave them, how did you ask for that help? What were some of the ways that you learned to communicate your needs?
Oh yeah. So the pattern begins in me. So Nettie knows this about me, and the people closest to me know this about me, that I have a thing of like forgetting stuff. I could be very forgetful. God help me. And I have systems to the max that are based around that issue of like me forgetting things. And especially for me, um how that comes out is I will do something awesome that goes really well, and then I'll forget what the heck did I do. And so I'll go and reinvent the wheel and think, I don't know how to do this. And I'll do it over and over and over again. So, what I started doing for me was writing notes or doing screen flows or mapping out exactly how to do a thing that worked that I did. So I understand myself that I need help remembering what works. And because I began that relationship with myself of like creating documents, screen caps and screen flows and things to remind myself, oh, this is how I did it. This is how I did it. That prepared me for when I started working with virtual assistants. So there's a company overseas that I was using that they give like a certain amount of hours per month for a certain amount of dollars that you could spend, and they will, whatever you ask, they'll throw their whole team at it, which is awesome. And the way that I would communicate with them was exactly how I communicated with myself. By the way, there's a book that helped me learn how to better communicate with myself so that I can remember what to do, and how to do it. And it's a book that is the name is so simple you're going to think, oh, that's dumb. No, no, no. Life changing. Life changing. Everyone should read this book, and it is titled If You Want It Done Right, You don't have to do it yourself. Again, if you want it done right, you don't have to do it yourself. By Donna M. Gennett, Gennett. And so,
PhD, by the way, Donna M. Gennett, PhD. So she knows
yes,
what she's
thank you. Dr.
talking.
Gennett, amazing. Changed my life. If you're watching this, thank you. I teach all my students on this. And so when I went to delegate, I said, I set up Zoom on the screen for this is for my virtual assistants, and I recorded me doing a thing such as posting a blog or setting up an email and like moving one thing from another. I I recorded that and put it in my Dropbox. I then put an outline of here's how to do the task. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then at the end, I said, and here's how you communicate that it's beginning. Here's how you communicate it is in progress. Here's how you communicate that it is done and exactly where. And I need this done by this time on this day. Thank you so much for your help. And the company got back to me after I kept doing that when I first started working with them. They said, Madam, we want you to know we train our clients on how to delegate to us off of how you delegate to us. And so having that structure within yourself, the pattern begins in me. The pattern begins in you. But let me get even into this a little bit more. How dare I be that specific? How dare I tell you exactly how and when to talk to me and what to say and what to do? How dare I do that? So even more so than that, like practice of, okay, learning how to speak to myself and remember what I was doing and then relaying that to other people. Okay, Victoria, even more so than that, I have to tell you, my daily affirmation cards rewired my brain because I was brought up slash I was brainwashed slash I was programmed to think you don't ask for help. You don't bother people. You don't you dare. You got to figure it out, right? Like you got to be strong or all of these different things. I had to then countermeasure that. I had to counter program, counter brainwash with chants every morning. I would have these cards where I wrote out affirmations of people can't wait to pay me and praise me. People everybody loves me. Everybody loves me. Everybody loves me. I would have to chant that over and over again, and I know it. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm surrounded by people who love, honor, respect, and feel me, and who are honored and overjoyed to support my mission and purpose. Right. And I would say that at least 3 times in a row with emotion out loud every morning. With emotion out loud every morning. And I was reading it. So it was visual, it was audible, it was tactile, like I could feel it. And the more I emotionalized this new perspective, the more I dare, right? Or the more I felt comfortable, the more I was programmed to be able to ask for help comfortably. Now that's just in the digital spectrum. I mean, I could go more into the in person. This episode could be 10 between you and I don't know. What about you, Nettie? What, like, that's my story, but what helped you begin to ask people for help or begin to ask your team at another level? How'd you do it? How'd you do it?
Well, my process was relatively similar to yours in clear directions, providing clear directions, and that was either having somebody shadow me. So in person, the person could shadow me, they can come alongside, or now digital age, so helpful, right? To be able to screen record, video record, and even better at this point, you can drop that video screen recording and the transcript into AI and ask it to create the SOP based on this. Hand that over, and you have a really complete and easy to follow. Like, it could not be easier to share how to do tasks. Communicating the expectations is super important and something that It's not just, this is what I want you to do, but you need to let them know what level of failure you will tolerate. So what this looks like is, uh, you know, you don't have to do this right the first time. Or, if you only get X amount completed, it will be okay. I need you to start by completing at least this step. Um, or if, I don't expect perfection. You can make a mistake even if it costs up to $100. So communicating the expectations, because our our expectations, if communicated by not having a growth mindset, will also stifle the other person who's trying to take it on if they're trying to do right by you, and so that can be a problem. So having that and communicating that, and it's not as though I'm lowering my standards, it's that I'm expecting that I didn't do this perfectly the first time, and if I'm handing this to somebody else, I cannot expect perfection the first time out either. Because what will happen if you do that is you'll hand it to them, they will fail, and you'll say, oh, see, I should have done it myself in the first place, which does not solve your problem at all. Victoria, you talked about a deadline, but I also want you to include a length of time, because both of us have experienced where somebody has really gone off in left field and taken substantially longer to do something. They may have hit the deadline, but the effort that they put in and what they created was so off the mark because we didn't communicate our expectation for how long it would take. So what this looks like is, I'm handing you this list of names of people to call. I expect you to spend 1 hour on this task. If you're finding yourself spending more than 1 hour on this task, you'll come back to me and we'll figure out what's going on. I'll answer your questions. So the communication here is essential. We have two pieces. We have this mindset and this practice of asking, and then we have a way of communicating such that the person is empowered to do the work that you're assigning to them, and you both feel good and about the outcome that comes together, so that you can get to that point of, hey, I'm celebrating with you. Oh my gosh, we've been doing this task now for 3 weeks and you really are getting it. In fact, now you do it better than I do, and it's more like complete than when I was doing it. And you can then hand them the next thing. This works in person. It works even if you have had a team for years. It works virtually. It's just a change in how you communicate. So we've really covered quite a bit of ground, and I think you're right. We could dissect any one of these in a whole episode by itself. But we have to wrap up for today, because we're going to come back again next week and we're going to share with you some even more interesting, I don't know, this is pretty interesting. This may have been the thing that you really needed to hear today. But next week, we're talking about decision fatigue, that point where, maybe you're having decision fatigue around delegation, around your team coming to you with so many questions. And perhaps this episode will help you reduce the number of questions because you're communicating and delegating differently. But even if that's happening and you start to remedy it, but you're still feeling like my brain is fried by the amount of decisions that I have to make, we're going to be talking about that next Wednesday, 3:30, right back here.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that drops in for me about decision fatigue, and I'm excited for us to talk about it, especially around delegation, is feeling impatient. All right, I gave it to you. Why isn't it done? Rah! Like you mentioned the deadlines aspect. By the way, and all my team secretly knows this, but I'm coming out. If I tell you what a deadline is, trust it is not the actual deadline. It's mine. My deadline. I would like it by Tuesday. It may not be due until 3 weeks later, but I want it on this day. So in case of explosions. But as you get your reps in, you learn to do these types of things. But we need to talk about how, especially feeling impatience with delegating or working with others can be completely fueling your decision fatigue. And by the way, if you're hearing all of this and you're like, oh, I need help. Like I want to delegate, I want to grow a team, or I want to have a team for the first time, or I want to be better for the team that I've been inherited and been given.
Mhm.
Comment, connect below, like, so that we can reach out to you. Nettie and I will send you a three-way DM on LinkedIn so that we can connect and see how we can help. Was this topic helpful? By the way, we need to know in the comments. We want to know, what are the topics that you want to hear about. Of course, it can always be chef's choice, but we're here to serve you. And if you've made it to the end of this episode, you know what to do. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button so that you get the notifications first every week as we go live. And you also tell the algorithm that, hey, these women know what they're talking about. They're really waking up women leaders. We'll see you in the next one. Mwah! Bye, everyone.